Hey everyone, Michelle here and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my April wrap up. April was a good month for me. I read all the books I wanted to read and then I might have hauled just a little bit too many books, which you will see in my video next week. So yeah, there's 11 books for April, so I will go through them. I normally go through them in the order I read them, but at this moment in time the pile fell. So I'm just going to pick them up and talk to you about them in that order. So the first few books on this list are books 2, 3, 4 and 5 in the Great Library series by Rachel Caine. I gave books 2 and 3 4 stars because I felt the characters were still in development, they were still making mistakes which they should have known not to make. But I did give books 4 and 5 5 stars because they were actually amazing. These books both had endings, so really they could have finished after book 4. But book 5 kind of cemented the great ending for this series. I found this series so insightful, I want to say, in the fact that the Great Library of Alexandria never was destroyed, it never went away, and how that kind of changed the present. Like, they didn't have electricity, and it was like, you have magic but you don't have electricity, and the way that books are governed is quite peculiar. And I did start reading the first one thinking, but would it really go that way? And actually I thought yes it would, because they wouldn't want people to progress too much. But this is a fantastic series. If you are looking for a bit of a, not historical fiction, but a bit like history, about book with a group of strangers who become friends to found family, read it. I would recommend this series to anyone. It is a YA book, I do believe. I did think it was more adult, but it's YA. But, well, YA going into NA, I would say a little bit, but not too much. The next book is Bridge of Souls by Victoria Schwab, book 3 in the Cassidy Blake series. Well, trilogy at the moment, but hopefully it will be a series. I love this series. I gave all the books 4 stars. This book is a 4-star book. You follow Cassidy Blake, who after a near-death experience can see ghosts after this experience, and her best friend is actually the ghost who saved her. And it's quite ironic because her parents are ghost hunters. So they're going around all these haunted places and they're like telling these ghost stories, and Cassidy's just sat there like, well, that happened over there, there's a ghost over there, that place is dangerous. And it's quite funny to read. Along the way she meets a friend called Lara who can also ghost walk, I think is what they call it. It's been a few weeks since I've read this, I can't remember everything. I enjoyed it, the development, the history of New Orleans being given to us, how there is this society which can help Cassidy with what she's doing. The entrance of a messenger of death, a middle grade book, I found quite intriguing. The friendship is developed even more between Cassidy and Jacob. The friendship between Cassidy and Lara is built more, and you get to see the start of the friendship between Lara and Jacob. The only thing for me that I didn't really like was that a consequence during action in about the middle way through the book, when that same action is done again, the consequence isn't the same, which I did find a little bit odd. The next one, it may just be me overthinking it because I'm looking at this book through an adult's eyes, well, supposed adult. Just that there's a lot of coincidences, and it's just like, really? You're just going to happen to tell me that she just stumbled upon this door that helps? But yeah, 4 stars. I know Victoria has said she may come back to this trilogy in the future, and I would love if she did because I think it's a great series. And if any of the nieces are watching and you would like the first one, let Auntie Shelley know because she can find it through one of the many boxes she has to go through. The next book is The Thief on the Winged Horse by Kate Mascarenhas, and this was for the readathon read your shelves readathon, well, read your bookshelves I should say, and the prompt was 5 or more words in the title. I gave this book 4 stars. I gave this book 4 stars. It was a lot more than I thought it would be. I thought it would just be this mystery / type of thriller book, whereas a bit of a whodunit, like who stole this doll. Actually, it's about 2 women finding their place in a very much male-dominated world and taking back control that has been taken from them. Very quick read for me. I read it in 2 days. Really enjoyed it. The only reason it didn't get 5 stars, I didn't like some of the outcomes for some of the side stories, but I can look past that. It was great work. I know Kate has written another book, I forget the name of, that Emma at the Drinking by My Shelves, why can I not remember her name? I will link her down below. The Psychology of Time Travel, I believe she read that book a few months ago and she enjoyed it, so that is definitely a book I am putting onto my wish list. The next book on the list is Bone Crier's Moon by Catherine Purdy. I give this book 3 stars. I'm gonna get the points that I didn't like out of the way first, because once I get that out of the way I could talk about the thing I did like. The romance, the insta-love, the romance. Not for me, did not like it. The kind of love triangle thing that was going on. Again, didn't like it, could have been done better. The reveal of Sabrina, I want to say, her reveal, I could have gone without that. Yeah. I did like the magic though. I found the magic very interesting, and the whole bridges to Elias or Tyrone? Ella or Tyrone even. I enjoyed that, and that, I'll be honest, the magic is the only reason I am putting the second book on my wish list. Although I haven't heard great things about the second book. Now I know a lot of people like this one and it was hyped everywhere, but for me I was literally just sat there reading it going, okay. But that might just be for me, because sometimes insta-love, well, majority of the times, insta-love is not my cup of tea at all. But yeah, I actually would have liked more for the friendship to be developed between Sabrine and Elise. Sabine, not Sabrine. Michelle. So yeah, I would have actually liked that friendship to be developed a little bit more, and now with that reveal, I do worry that that will affect the friendship in a negative way. But yeah, 3 stars. I think it's one of the books where it's on the cusp of being unhauled, which, yeah. The next book I read was War Maidens by Kelly Kuhn, and I gave this book 2 stars. The only reason I gave it 2 stars was the battle scenes. I hated the fact that no one communicated, and when they actually communicated near the end of the book, surprise, surprise, the baddie was dead within a chapter. The unnecessary second drama, I will call it, oh good gosh. It had no impact in my eyes. It didn't need to be there. The sudden character changes, now I know she tries to explain why, and if you've read this book, I think you'll know who I mean, that character has changed. I get it. I get her explanation. But it was just far too quick for me. If there had been a couple of chapters where you saw the progression from the character being this way to being this way, fine. The fact I didn't get that, I didn't like. And just the relationship drama, it didn't need to be there. And then when it was all sorted out, the hints that maybe she's pregnant, it was like, you're a medicine woman, you're someone who wants to heal. Surely you would recognise the signs of pregnancy. And if it's not being pointed to pregnancy, then good gosh, what was the point of them being in there and being written that way? I found the first book okay. To be honest with you, the major reason I wanted this book was because of the cover. But saying that, I will be unhauling this book and the first book because letdown. Total letdown. The next book is The Ever Cruel Kingdom by Rin Tripeco. I gave this book 5 stars. That ending, while it's not a conventional happy ending, it's the only ending that could be happy that would make sense. And yeah, the world and character building is fantastic. The little twists that come out of nowhere, as in I was reading one chapter with them twins in it, and I got to that ending and I was like, that's not the twins I thought it was. Really? Also, the friendship being developed between the respective love interests, and can I just say, Lizette is my queen. Just her little innuendos, and yeah, she made me giggle. 5 stars. I definitely enjoyed this duology. I know Rin has a backlog with the Bone Witch series, I believe it is. That is going on my wish list. That is being bought. I want to read more from Rin. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. Another 5-star book was The Art of Dying by Ambrose Parry. I love this series so much, and I think that is massively because it's a pseudonym for a crime writing author and his doctor wife. That's horrendous, I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's between Chris Brookmeyer and Marissa Heitzman. Chris is multi-award-winning author of over 20 novels, and Dr. Marissa Heitzman is a consultant anaesthetist with over 20 years experience. And I think that shows massively, because anaesthetizing people is one, it is kind of the medical emergence, I will say, in this series, and it's quite interesting to read that from an actual medical point of view with the lingo, and I love that. I love the relationships that have been built in this book. The fact that Dr. Simpson really doesn't care if what he's doing isn't conventional, and it's, I'm going to help this woman who has quite a medical insight to try and get into this field. Didn't see the twist in Raven and Sarah's relationship, going to be honest. I liked it though. I would have liked it if it'd been a normal relationship where they courted and they got together. But that twist and the little, I enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Yeah, a series I enjoy. The 3rd book comes out sometime this year. I can't remember what date. But it's in hardback. I pre-ordered it. I'm getting it in hardback. I will get the rest of these books in hardback because I thoroughly enjoy this historical book series. If you are looking for a historic thriller medical series, you will not go wrong with this series. The last book I will talk about is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, book number 3 in Mistborn Trilogy 1. I give this book 4.5 stars. The perfect way to end this series. I saw some of the deaths coming. I saw some of the twists coming. I didn't see that twist with Sayazed coming, although I buddy read this with Ada and she was like, you could kind of see it coming, but I was like, maybe I was too sleepy because I read this the week that I wasn't well. So maybe if I reread it some point, not anytime soon because of how thick it is, I may see the hints coming. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The red herrings I found intriguing. The endings for some of the characters, I'm like, okay, so I'm guessing we'll hear more from what they did in Mistborn Trilogy 3. Mistborn Trilogy 2, 3. So yeah, I did say when I read this series I wasn't really interested in reading Sanderson's other work, like the Cosmere, too much. I was intrigued but not enough to want to read them. I want to read them now, so I think that is a good point, and I am interested in his YA as well. But yeah, a great ending to a great series. So there were all the books I read in April. I wanted to read 11 books. I read 11 books. My highest rated were The Art of Dying, The Ever-Cruel Kingdom, and books 4 and 5 in the Great Library series. My lowest rated book was War Maidens. Sorry, just going to read to my little reading channel. I read 4,713 pages last month, which is fantastic. I hauled 38 books. But I am 15 books ahead of my, well, I was 15 books ahead of my Goodreads goal. I think that's something now, 17 books. But yeah, a good month. I didn't go over my intended number, which I was a bit sad about, but do you know what? I had a week where I barely read anything. I read one book, which isn't like me, so it couldn't be helped. If you like this book, please leave a like if you are new to my channel. Hi, my name's Michelle. I read a variety of genres, and I have 2 speeds when it comes to reviewing, because I do not class what I call as reviewing books. That is either I will spoil it completely for you and you will be wondering why I did that, or I am so vague that you'll be like, why did you speak? If you want to talk to me about any of the books or any of my thoughts, please comment down below, or come follow me on Instagram, Twitter or Goodreads. I will link them all down below. If you are unsure about subscribing, please go back see some of my early videos. They're not the best, they're not the worst, they're just me. And until next time, bye guys.